Hi everyone, welcome to Module 6 of Kinesiology 2700 Stress Management. This module is called How Change Happens. So just really quick, laying the groundwork here. So far we've talked about what stress is. We've talked about that you have these two systems that are one or the other is always in control, and the system that you reside in the most is the system that gets better at what it does, and also the system that begins to dominate your life. We talked a lot about what happens when your fear response system is in control. We talked about the whole physiology behind that. We talked about how you perceive, how your whole mind body reacts, and then you go back and perceive again. And so what we're going to do now, starting next week, we're really going to get into, so now what do you do about it? How do you really begin to apply the skills to be able to switch it up so it works for you instead of against you? So we just have one more piece, and that piece is looking at kind of the physiological implications of what happens when you are able to change to your common connection system. Because I really went pretty in depth about the havoc that is wreaked on your whole mind-body complex when you are steeped in your fear response system, and when you remain in your fear response system, or you perpetuate the kind of behaviors that keep you in your fear response system. So this is all about just kind of learning what happens when you're in your common connection system, what happens to your neural networks, what happens to your biochemistry. And it's kind of the last piece of really laying the foundation of understanding how all this works in your whole mind and body. And then we really begin to apply the skills to switch it up. So what I want you to do is you need to read pages 54 to 80 in Unstressed. And so again, if you have the ebook, the version, I don't always have those page numbers because they're always different, but the heading would be under chapter 2, how a calm and connected spiral changes, to in chapter 3, recognize the power of your attention. Then you need to watch the content video for the week, and again it's going to just kind of talk about what happens, the foundation of the physiological implications when you actually are able to switch to your common connection system. And then we're going to get deeper into the power of pause. I had you do the power of pause last week. I explained it. I even kind of had you do the beginning part of kind of just writing down parts and places and times in your own life that you might benefit from the power of pause. So we're going to get deeper into a reflection about that this week. So it is both described in your video. So I want you to go through the video, and then kind of it's at the very end of the video, and you're going to kind of look at what that looks like and have it explained by me. It is also in your book. If you have the paper copy, it's on page 78. If you have an electronic copy, it's in kind of chapter 3, and it's labeled The Power of Pause. And so you're going to do that reflection. You're just going to get way deeper into that practice. You're going to write about it. You're going to kind of name times that you might benefit from practicing that. And again, it's all explained in the video and all explained in your book. And then you're going to practice it. So you're going to practice it again this week. You need, I mean, that is the foundation of all the other practices, because you need to pause and stop your fear response before you can really shift to any other kind of response. So that you need to get used to that. So you're going to practice that again 3 or 4 times a day. Record that in your heart log again. And I don't go through and count every single time you're doing it, but I want to see that you're recording it, because then it reminds you to do it, number one. And then you also begin, after it's recorded so many times, you begin to see situations that did change when you were able to implement some of the practices. Your longer guided audio, you're going to go back to De-Stress with Dr. Elaine this week. Next week, we're going to start really kind of branching off into some different practices, but I do want you to do the De-Stress with Dr. Elaine one more time. You have a content video that is going to be based both on the a content quiz that is both going to be based on the content video and the readings. And then, and then you're going to turn in a summary of both the power of pause and De-Stress with Dr. Elaine. So the things that you're turning in this week are your content quiz And then again, your reflection, exercise and reflection on the power of pause. And then the summary of the practice of pause and de-stress with Dr. Elaine. So have a really good week. It's a little bit shorter, or a little bit easier this week, and then next week we're really going to start getting into so how do you apply all this stuff, and how does you really make it work, and it starts getting a lot less science foundation and a lot kind of more fun, useful stuff. So have a really good week, and I'll see ya.